Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
We're so honored to catch up with Ringo Starr and his All-Starr Band, hitting the road again, playing shows this spring and this fall. Here they are, Ringo Starr and the All-Starr Band. With the band back on the road after lockdown and other COVID-related postponements, would you say there's a renewed excitement and energy surrounding your live performances?
Well, yeah, I think it's exciting that we rehearsed and we're getting ready to go on the road again. I mean, we just, I've said we're going on tour. And, you know, last year was a bit awkward because the first tour went down, the second tour went down. But, you know, we have great confidence we're going to do all the gigs.
You have so many tour dates coming up. What's your secret to staying ready to rock with such a grueling schedule?
Well, I don't know about the other band. They should talk about this. It's not grueling. Playing has never been grueling. I love to play. I love to play with these guys. You know, we are the best band in this room. And
thanks, Bob.
And you know, let a couple of them answer it. I love it, and it's not tiring. Touring, nobody wants to tour, but you've got a tour to play.
I love the tour. I spend my life on the road. I really do. I'm built for speed on this one. You know, I've always loved touring.
I love touring, but there's no touring like touring with Ringo, man.
Well, that's true. I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you that. Thank you, boss.
Okay.
Not grueling. Very,
Treat us
very
so
fun.
well.
And the hang, we all hang so much, man. That's
I'd rather play every night than have a day off so we can get to the next venue.
yeah.
Does it feel as though you've settled into less of a rotating lineup with the All-Star Band in recent years? And if that's the case, is there something special about this group of musicians that keeps you coming back for more?
Well, I think I'm learning. When I first started putting all-star bands together, then we would change the band completely. We did that for 20 years. And now, I think it's just more joy that I've only changed 2 people this year, last year, for this band. And so, you know, it's easier. And, you know, I just did it because I thought that's what I had to do, change the band. But this band's good for me. I'm ready.
How do you approach songs that are iconic and find a way to insert your voices and styles into the mix?
Well, I was sort of trained to be a studio musician since I was a teenager, and so I love the challenge of playing other people's music. I want to try to stay as true to it as they expect, you know, be true to the sonically as well as playing all the parts. I have more fun playing their stuff than mine, I can tell you that for sure. Plus, playing all the great Ringo hits and Beatles stuff it never gets old. And I love everybody. We're such great musicians, such great friends. It's just a joy. This is not work. This is a vacation as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I always love the feeling of a band, and I know Ringo feels the same way. And it's such an interesting variety of material, and playing everybody's things on Ringo's songs. I have a tendency to want to try to make them really authentic, like the records. But I think that the chemistry of a band is a very unique and personal thing, and I just try to find a place, you know, to really listen and fit in, you know, to what everybody else is doing, and then it becomes like a whole new experience and a whole new thing. I think we do a lot of these songs in a very unique way that you will never have heard before, and may never again.
Thank you, Edgar.
You're very welcome.
I agree, and this is a YouTube world, and we are a band. If you go to YouTube and you type in Ringo All-Star Band and you type in the name of any of these songs, you'll hear our version of these songs, and it's a special version. Just yesterday, Ringo and we started playing Steve's song Africa a little differently with 2 hands on the hi-hat. And Hamish says, I really like that. It's like our version of these songs. They're great classic songs, but Gary Grath from Detroit, I know you for years. How you doing? What a great question.
Listen, I just want to say it's great playing with this band, and for the freedom of what he's talking about, that we may change it a little. It's not we never make mistakes. We never do. We just change it a bit. It's not actually what was on the record, and that's fine by me.
I love the fact that it's not like me playing it with my other band or anything like that. It's got this own. We have our own sound playing everybody's material.
And it's not like we're trying to change it. It's just that we put our own imprint into it, and our own we put our own personality into it. That's what makes it unique and so much fun. We're having so much fun.
And I like to solo through everything. So
I like to play drums on all of them.
That's right. We have our own sound. Na 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 na. It's our band's version of all these songs, and
Right.
the thing is trying to just do your part for everyone else's songs. That's what I love. I love playing everyone else's songs, as Steve said, more than playing my own. Playing everyone else's songs, and then it sounds like this band. It doesn't sound like any other band. And then the more you play, it gets more finessed and more nuanced and more fun, to be honest. You know, the more we play the songs, the more fun it is.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. I mean, you play the songs and you try and put something of yourself into it, but ultimately you're playing the song, and that's the headspace that you're in.
How do you choose your set list?
There's no restrictions. It's like, we do the songs I love to do. Of course, we do Little Help, and we do Yellow Submarine. And for the first year, we put in Octopus's Garden. And we changed several of my songs every couple of years in the band.
Would it have been hard for you to imagine in 1989 that you'd still be touring with the All-Starr Band concept 30 years later?
I didn't think of it. I was just doing it. And yeah, it's been a long time now. I mean, 34 years with a couple of years break because of the pandemic. And, but it's what I do. I love to play, and I love to play with great musicians, and I love to play great songs, and I get all of that from these guys.
Steve, with the hits from Toto and other bands you've been a part of, will there be an inclusion of singles from your new album, Bridges?
God love you for asking that. No, there won't be. This is Ringo's band, and we play the hits, and we play his music, and that's a whole other thing. But thanks for asking. I do have a record coming out next month, so thank you.
Is there something you can share about Ringo that we don't know?
I'm taller than they say.
Well, he's the real thing. Everything that I ever wished before I met him and became friends, what I imagined him to be like, being a lifetime fan. He's even better than I could have ever dreamed of. I love the man dearly.
I just love playing live, and it's difficult being a drummer and playing live because, if I come on stage tonight, just me and the kit, hey, how you doing? I've got the yellow submarine, nothing else. But, I often dream if I played guitar or piano. I used to have a fantasy. I only wanted to be like a barroom singer and a piano player. So I'd play a lot more, I think. But I need all these great guys behind me to play with me, and it's a band thing. I love being in a band. It may have my name, but I'm in this band.
This marks the 50th anniversary of the single Free Ride, which is still used frequently in films and TV. Has the staying power of the track surprised you? And besides your hits with the Edgar Winter Band, will you be playing any songs from your recent Brother Johnny album on this tour?
Well, Free Ride, every time I play that song, I think of Dan Hartman, who passed away unexpectedly and was a great talent. And he had already written, he had the idea for that basic song. And I just I remember the first time I did it with this band, and I looked back over my shoulder, it's Ringo playing on Free Ride. I can't believe it. And we will be doing Johnny Be Good, which is from the album Brother Johnny.
Grammy Award.
Grammy Award winning.
Yeah, Grammy winner.
Best contemporary blues.
Which I still am amazed. I honestly, I never expected my music to be anywhere on the charts for the rest of my life. But when we started to make that record, and when we got as it started to take shape, I said, wow, this is really a special album. There were so many amazing performances by all the guest artists. Ringo is on a song with Joe Walsh, and Gregg Bissonette played on the entire album. But Johnny Be Good is one of those songs that, to this day, when I think of rock and roll, I think of Chuck Berry and Johnny Be Good. And you might think, well, it's so obvious. Well, Johnny Winter tribute, Johnny Be Good. But, that song, there was this talent contest in Beaumont, and we entered, and the hottest song we knew was Johnny Be Good, so we entered and played the song, and we won. And the first prize is you get to make your very own record. So that song actually started. That's the reason for the inclusion of that song. That's the reason Johnny put it on his first album. It's sort of like the beginning of both of our careers. So then we'll be playing our special version of it for you all.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's one of my favorites. And
Your touring schedule reads like something straight out of the 70s, with very few days off between shows. What's it like for you on the road, and how you stay in such fine mental and physical shape with all that you do?
Well, I go to the gym most mornings, and I get ready, and, Dave Hart, who put the tour together, he gave us, like, too many days off. So I complained. So he's filled in some of them now. Because if I'm on the road, I want to play.
Right.
I don't want to sit in a hotel and relax for 3 days. I want to get out there and play. So it's just how I am. I just love to do it. I mean, with this band, it's great because, everybody takes the weight. But, if like Paul, he's like the man. So he has to have time off, to get himself back together. But because we're this crowd, we could play every night. I promise you, we could play every night, but Edgar needs a day off.
You nailed the chorus on Africa on the last run of shows, which can be really tough for even some multi-octave singers. How do you keep your voice in such great shape? And besides your solo Men at Work hits, can we expect a song or two from your Now and Evermore album out last year?
Well, I'll answer the last part first. That answer is no. I'm just playing my party pieces that we have. We play the hits in this band happily, and that was one of the challenges, singing the chorus in Africa, and I can still get there. And to do that, I make sure that I warm up as much as I can, and because if I don't, then it's challenging. But if I warm up my voice, I can usually get there pretty well.
We hear you have 2 more EPs on the way. Can you tell us more about the release dates and who you've collaborated with?
Well, it started to happen with the pandemic. The first EP, we were all in masks. And that's not what music is about. And then we can send files to each other. So that's how it started. And I mean, I've been on several people's records. I didn't see them. They just send the files, and I do whatever I do. And I just felt EP, you could sort of look at it in a serious way, and you can do it in a month. You know what I mean? Like, an album does take longer. And so that's what I've been doing. So, the last EP 3 was out, and I finished one just before we started rehearsing. We like to call My EP, and Linda Perry is doing an EP on me because she gave me 2 songs in the last 2 EPs. We got to know each other, and I love her, and she's just great. And so she said, "Oh, Ringo, let me do it." And I said, "Okay, do it. You do it." So the only thing I'll be doing on that EP is playing drums and singing. And then out of the blue, I asked another guy to help us out. I get to meet and actually work with people I've never worked with, which I've always found exciting. And I asked T-Bone, I was telling him I do this, and they put some stuff on the track, and, if he's got any time and he wants to do it. Well, he did want to do it, and he sent me, I promise you, one of the most beautiful country tracks I've heard in a long time. It's very old school country, it's beautiful. And so I thought, hey, I'm going to make a country EP. You know, so it's a lot of my life is changed by the moment that comes into it. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to do that. So that's what I'm doing.
What is the secret of your longevity and being able to play physically demanding performances for so many decades?
I don't know how to do anything else. It's the honest truth. I mean, it's normal. I mean, it's not hard. I mean, you have to take care of yourself, but I mean, it's not like I have to go to work and dig ditches in the hot sun or something like that. This is the greatest job a human being could have on planet Earth, especially with these guys. I think the obvious.
I think we all take a bit more care of ourselves now.
Yeah, you have to pace yourself a little bit better, and not you have to get plenty of sleep, and but it's not like it used to be. It used to be you give yourself a hammering, and that only works for a certain amount of time, and then you think, I just can't do this anymore. I'm killing myself.
Diminishing returns, yeah.
And then you learn from that. And then you learn what's really important. And what's really important is not what happens after the gig, but it's actually what's really important is actually playing the show. That's the crucial part. It's the work. It's the that's the joy of it. Because when you play a show, and you have this energy, and you put the energy out, and the energy comes back, and it's like an electrical current. There's no better feeling than that. That's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with the fact that you get back from the audience. The first time I saw Ringo in the same room, I was 7 years old, and it was 1966, and I was just buzzing and vibrating for a week. And I just said, I want to play in front of people. Recording is fun, but it's nothing like playing live, where you get that feeling back. And there's somebody in this row with a yellow submarine sign, and somebody over there, and you just get so much back. That just keeps you mentally just so excited.
I think the audience, I always say it, I love the audience and they love me. Well, the band loves the audience. The audience are part of the reason I go out, because they give so much back. Yeah.
Well, as far as longevity, to me, music is timeless. And I have just as much fun every time I get on stage. I feel like a kid. It really reminds me of when I first started playing, and I enjoyed every bit as much as I did back then. To me, it never gets old. It's an ever-expanding world, and sure, I can't do everything that I could do when I was younger, but I'm having every bit as much fun, and I try to think of each show like the first show, and it might be the last show. So you just do the best you can.
Well, I never think of the last show.
Okay.
Your contributions to music have left an indelible mark on the industry. How do you hope to be remembered as a musician, and what message would you like to leave for future generations?
I had a dream at 13. I wanted to be a drummer, and that dream is still going on. So my life is easy. But I did do a masterclass to show kids how to play, really. And just not how to play, just to play a basic pattern to see if they had the coordination. And I used to do that at home with kids, and then I'd say, if they didn't have that coordination, but I wasn't not going to be cruel, so I said, I think you should try piano. It's something I do, and that I love to do. I've never not once not loved doing it, So I don't even know if that answered your question.
My favorite line from Masterclass is the end, where it's all true for all of us. The more you play, the better life is.
Yeah.
What a great quote that is.
If you're playing your instrument, you're not picking your nose. Life is good.
Yeah.
Just making a living playing music is a dream come true. So that pretty much sums it up for me.
Well, you must be close.
To check on tickets for your area, wherever Ringo Starr and the All-Starr Band is coming to, just go to ringostarr.com. Once again, Ringo will have new music coming out, 2 new EPs, even what we understood from the interview, working with T-Bone Burnett for a country EP coming out next year. But you don't want to miss these guys on tour. So many great songs with Ringo and the entire All-Starr Band. Catch them live and you'll enjoy the tour and the show.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.